Greetings, my darlings, and happy Gregorian New Year. Thank you for your patience. It has been a long ride and a long journey. Welcome to the year of number 9, the year of drastic change and unexpected change. Wow. As I look back over the last 9 years of our collective consciousness and my own personal journey over the last 9 years, nothing is the same. Even if it looks similar, internally, nothing is the same. The way I think has changed. The way I feel about certain things has changed. My opinions have changed. And I'm quite sure the collective consciousness of us all, we have gone through a metamorphosis over the last 9 years. So many things have changed since 2016. At this time, I would like for you to reflect on how you've changed over the last 9 years, especially if it's a personal number 9 year for you. And also, I'd like us all to reflect on where we would like to go within the next 9 years of the universal cycle in this dimension. Check out this old throwback clip from when I started doing these videos. Not just a year number 9 for me personally, but it's also a number 9 year collectively for the collective consciousness of us all, because we are in the year 2016. So 2 plus 0 plus 1 plus 6 equals 9. And there have been many recent unexpected changes for myself, especially last year in the number 8 year, which was also a personal number 8 year for me as well. So there is a lot to share with you that I will gradually share and explain, and lots of changes, drastic changes, which I will do my best to share with you throughout the year. It has been a long ride since the first time I ever made the yearly numerological video. Over the last 9 years, in a universal cycle, we have gone through a metamorphosis. And this year, that metamorphosis comes to a full head. We are going somewhere different. We are finishing up old projects over the last 9 years, and a lot of things will come into fruition, completion, and fulfillment for many. Now, also keep in mind that you also have your own personal year number, which goes in conjunction with the universal year, which will kind of color your experience a little different than the next person. Also keep in mind certain planetary phases that you may be going through that can also offset the universal energies of number 9. But no matter what personal year you're in, whether it be 1 through 8, number 9 always gels and unifies with whatever number it is added to. So first of all, let's talk about this year, 2025, being a year of liberation for many. Not liberation from everything, but liberation from specific situations that could either feel oppressive, repressive, or even regressive. If you felt the pull of the Saturnian energy of the number 8 last year holding you back or holding you down, you may feel like the strings will be loosened this year for you to be able to better express yourself and do your thing the way you would prefer to do it. If you found yourself bound by a particular situation, you may find yourself getting set free from that situation, because number 9 releases. Number 9 is all about letting go of what no longer serves you. Number 9 is all about fulfillment, things coming to a head. And also number 9 is all about endings and completion. So with that being said, number 9 is the opposite of a number 1 year, which is new beginnings. This is the year of endings and change. Now, endings doesn't necessarily mean total endings, but things not being the same the way they were. So think of number 9 as the year where you are in your garage and you're looking at a whole bunch of old stuff from the last 9-10 years. And you're looking at what you would rather give away or donate or put in a garage sale. Number 9 is sort of like a garage sale year. So with that, it is a year of cleansing and releasing, not a year to necessarily add new things unless there are things that you are already planning to add within the last 8 years or so. So this is a year where you would go and you would thoroughly assess what no longer fits, what no longer works, and what no longer is serving you. So with that particular influence in this year, you may see a lot of divorces and breakups, and unexpected divorces and breakups that you never would have thought would have occurred. Also ending of certain friendships, business partnerships, dissolving of certain businesses, or dissolving of certain ties that you may have found yourself bound to. You may find yourself released to do your own thing, because 9 is a year of independence and self-sufficiency. Now, I'm going to contradict myself about saying that number 9 is a year of self-sufficiency, because it's also the year of the humanitarian. So with self-sufficiency and independence, you're going to want to find yourself teaming with other independent, self-sufficient people in order to create interdependency. So it is also a year of interdependency, where everyone comes in to pull their own weight, to lend a helping hand to whatever it is. With number 9 energy, you will find that it will often put the universal energies in situations where people have no choice but to come together that normally would not come together. It's kind of like that, I would say, Hurricane Katrina energy, to where unexpected change or even possible natural disasters hit, to where people will temporarily come together and bond together in order to do concerted cleanup efforts and to fix things that have been broken. So it may not be a natural disaster in your life or in your area, but it may be something going on where you find yourself binding with other people on a temporary basis in order to get the job done. So the people that you meet this year that you've never met them before in your life, in this lifetime, they will be like scaffolding this year. This is not the year to where you meet new people and you expect that they're going to be in your life for the rest of your life. There are often people who are just crossing your paths and passing through, because number 9 is not only associated with ancestors, it's associated with your karmics in your lifetime and your soul group, but people who are not necessarily meant to stay the long run. If it's meant for those people to be in your life, say for instance, if you are in a personal year 4 in this universal 9 year, that relationship may change after this year by 2026 and be something different, totally different than it was this year if they remain in your life. If you just cross their paths this year, it may be for a temporary but very important reason that has lasting effects on your life and lasting lessons that you can carry with you, even if the person does not remain, or even if you do not remain. So don't dismiss new people this year. Just know that it's one of those things where they say people come in your life always for a reason, but only for a season. So a lot of new people you meet this year will be seasonal people. Respect it and enjoy it while it lasts. This may also be a year where you find yourself wanting to isolate more, or either keep to yourself more, or keep your circle a little more intimate rather than inclusive of everyone when it comes to your personal matters, even though you may team up with a bigger group of people for humanitarian, charitable, and social matters, because it is a year of social effort, but it is also the year of self. 9 is about yourself, self-fulfillment, self-esteem, self-love. Not selfishness, because remember, it's a humanitarian year, but it will also be a year where personal introspection will be very important. So things dealing with therapy, healing, knowing more about yourself are going to be on the forefront, which is a little similar to a number 1 year, which we will go into in 2026, by the way. But it's more about the inward experience that you're having rather than the outward experience of the self. Because 1 tends to be about yourself, but it tends to be about your image, your impressions, embarking out on your own, whereas 9 is about your inward experience and also intimacy with the Creator and those you consider your spiritual court. Also, with this being a year that is focused on ancestral encounters and soul group encounters, especially with your living soul group members here on earth that have incarnated with you, this is going to be a year where you are going to want to better focus on dealing with generational curses and generational bad habits. And you're going to want to give a deeper, more introspective examination to and generational tendencies. You are going to want to look into researching your family pathologies in order to work on uprooting the issues. And you may even find yourself having dreams or paranormal encounters, because number 9 energy brings lots of paranormal activity into a person's life. So also you want to make sure that you are using very good spiritual hygiene this year to spiritually cleanse yourself, just like every year, but even more so this year, because there may be a lot of people transitioning this year, especially elders this particular year. So it is a very ancestrally based year. And also lots of great popular celebrities making their surprise transition quite possibly this year. This is also a year of unexpected change. You know how they talk about be prepared for anything during the Mercury retrograde, be prepared for delays and things like that. 9 year has that type of energy throughout the entire year, whether the planets are direct or retrograde. Be prepared for unexpected change. Be prepared for adjustments to your flight schedules, your travel plans, and whatever plans you're planning to make. And also be prepared for some unexpected yet pleasant surprises. All unexpected change is not bad. You may be pleasantly surprised at what crosses your path or even who crosses your path this particular year. Just enjoy it, because 9 is also a year of getting your wishes fulfilled. So with this being a year of self-fulfillment, either something that you've been waiting on for quite a long time will finally come through. Things that have been delayed or held up, you may find will be released and flowing into your life. Or if this is not the year of fulfillment, this is a year of realizing what you really want and also realizing what's best for you. Because 9 is also a number that can deal with betrayal on the forefront. Not necessarily from people you just met, but the people who you've known way back in the day, who you've confided in and who knows your secrets. Also this year, karmic lessons through each individual will be discovered through realizing areas where you self-sabotage, where you become your own worst enemy. This is the year where strong lessons will come up in how you talk to yourself, like negative self-talk or being ensnared by the words of your own mouth. Have you been cursing yourself? Have you been cursing your circumstances? Have you been complaining too much? This is a year where you want to uproot those tendencies and not be your own worst enemy. Now, besides being your own worst enemy, you want to be careful of the enablers in your life or those that don't necessarily mean you well, because 9 will bring about a lot of frenemies. People who you may be hanging out with and toasting this year could end up being a competitor by 2026 or even a rival. But I'm not saying be suspicious of everyone or be always put your dukes up, metaphorically speaking, and always looking for everyone to do you wrong. All I'm saying is this is a year that will reveal areas in your life where you are self-sabotaging and where you are allowing other people or enabling other people to breach your personal boundaries. So be careful of that, because 9 will put a big focus on your relationships, because it's a year of soul groups. So some of those lessons that come up and that are uprooted may be very uncomfortable to deal with and see. It's kind of like that astrological 12th house energy. That's the number 9 sort of energy, to where a lot of things hidden from those closest to you that know you best will be revealed. You may also find yourself dreaming about certain soulmates or so-called twin flames or people who are in your soul sector. And you may be working out old beefs with them, because once again, 9 is a year of liberation. You're going to find yourself wanting to cross off old emotional debts and allow yourself to be free from resentment and bitterness if it's been holding you back from the things you want, because that's exactly what it does. It doesn't mean pardoning everyone to let them back in your life, but to release yourself to move forward. Also, with 9 being similar to that 12th house energy in astrology, 9 can also be a year of hidden agendas, because a negative aspect of the number 9 energy can deal with deceit. So you want to have a good relationship with yourself and a good relationship with Creator in order to discern those gut instincts and red flags when a person is being false to you or not totally forthcoming. So you may catch some people in some lies this year, or some mask may slip, because number 9 also deals with people wearing masks or being phony to a certain degree. So certain phony behaviors may be discovered and uprooted this year as well, even more so. Not that this doesn't happen every year, but it's going to be a very strong influence on this year in a way that you are going to remember for the next few years of your life, especially if you are in a number 9 personal year. Number 9 is also a year of women's spiritual influence and sense of spiritual power. I'm not talking about feminist empowerment or anything like that, or dominating any other gender. I'm talking about the personal power that comes from womanhood, wisdom, the ability to allure. With that energy, it can bring about certain temptations. So you want to guard against temptations if you are in a relationship, because with number 9 having an element of betrayal and an element of relationships, there could be lots of betrayals in relationships based on temptation to try something else, because you're going to be compelled to want to do your own thing, because 9 is not a number of commitment. 9 is a number of being a free agent. So with that liberation feeling, you're going to feel more like a free agent that wants to do your own thing. Even if you're not cheating or being dishonest, in some sort of way, someone is going to possibly find it to be a little unnerving that you decide to do what you think is best for you. But be careful that what you think is best for you does not end up being a terrible decision that you regret later. Also, with number 9 energy having a close elements to ancestors and soul groups, you want to be careful of negative familiar spirits that attack in the night, planting the wrong seeds in your subconscious that could be causing sabotage in your plans, goals, wishes, and daily life. You want to be on guard against your unseen spiritual enemies, because all your enemies are not in the flesh. You want to be on guard against spiritual energies, spiritual saboteurs, and also negative implantation in the subconscious, because number 9 brings a hidden energy. You want to guard the type of music that you're listening to. You want to read the labels carefully about what you're eating. What you see may not be what it really is. There can be more than meets the eye. There can be a lot of illusions, delusions, and confusion with that particular energy. So you want to keep sharp so that you stay on guard and discerning. And you want to pay close attention to your dreams at night. Now, with number 9 being a year of self-fulfillment, this will also be a year where you may feel like you're getting exactly what you need. A little of what you want, a good taste of what you want, but what you need will most likely be provided. Unless you have other circumstances coloring your experience, such as being in maybe in a number 5 year where you may feel a little bit of scarcity, or a certain planetary phase where you feel a little challenged, but you will have what you need. Even if you don't get all of what you want, you'll get a little taste of what you want. So once again, just like I said, 9 is a year of like being in the garage, figuring out what no longer works. It is not necessarily a year, especially if you're in a number 9 personal year, it is not a year to start new businesses, start new projects. It's not the most auspicious year for getting married unless you've been waiting. Like say, for instance, you've been engaged for 4 years and finally it's done. Because 9 is a year where you finish what you start. But if somebody new comes along and then you decide you want to elope this year, this isn't the best year to do that, because you may find that it ends up either in divorce or some sort of unexpected change to where it's not what you expected it to be. Even if it remains after the 9 years, something about it will drastically change. Mark my word. I've tried it. I've tested it. And I'm telling you, it will change drastically. Trust me. Trust me on this. Once again, especially if you're in a number 9 personal year. Friends could become enemies, and enemies can become friends by the end of this year. Now back to some positive notes. This is a year of socializing. Get out and socialize. Don't isolate all the time, because 9 can deal with isolation and time to yourself. But once again, with the humanitarian influence, you want to balance between time to yourself and also getting out and about and socializing. Go have fun. Go dance. Go do something fulfilling. And once again, I repeat, the people that you meet this year, enjoy them. Have fun with them. Don't start getting your heart deeply rooted into that person, expecting that they will always be there forever. Just enjoy it while it lasts. They may not have any bad intentions towards you. Just think seasonal. Also this year, you may find yourself feeling more exhausted and wanting to sleep more. But with you being exhausted and you having gone through a lot, especially if you're in a number 9 personal year, this may be a year where you feel a little more defensive than usual, to where you're not really open to letting certain people in. You may have an attitude to where everybody's out to get me, but be careful of being your own enemy. Also, this may be a year of treason from within a group. Even on a national or global level, there may be a hidden enemy within one's own camp. Not the people across the street or in the other country, but within the own homeland, within our own culture, within your familiar group of people, there may be treason from a group of people who are like-minded and kindreds. So this year, enemies are closer than you think. It's not the person across the street who you know doesn't like you. You want to be careful of those that are closer without being too suspicious. Once again, this is a year of temptation and indulgence. Just make sure you can handle the long-term effects if things change by next year. So with socializing, humanitarian energy going around, there'll be lots of flirtation, but not necessarily lots of commitment this year. This is a year of letting others help. It is a year of charity. The more you give, the more you receive. So be charitable this year, because 9 creates a complete circle. 9 is completion. So what you give, it comes back immediately. Once again, this is a year where anxiety and mental health issues will be talked about a little more on the social forefront and taken more seriously, not just from a psychological level, but also from a spiritual, astral level. This is a year of knowing when to let go and let God. Either you're going to trust or you're not. So it'll kind of be like that energy where you have to fall back and see if the other person will catch you. It's kind of like you're going to have to take a risk and a gamble in trusting the Almighty's process and activating your faith. This is a year to finish what you start. What is it that you've been saying you wanted to do, such as maybe finishing a book that you have finished or finishing a project? This is a year to go ahead and get that done. Finish up. But once again, this is not a year to start new projects. This is a year to conceive new projects to jump on by next year. But if you have something that you started doing within the last 8 years and you didn't finish it, go back and tie up the loose ends on the things you've already conceived and need to complete. Getting things finalized. Seal the deal on matters that have been held up and delayed. Because once again, this is a year of release from delay and restriction to a certain extent. Once again, this is not the best year for marriage unless you've already been with the person and you all are once again tying up loose ends, putting it on paper. Another thing I wanted to say too, last year, the New Age communities were all talking about, ooh, in December 2024, these big things are going to hit the society and change and shift and all this type of stuff. And everybody was crying about who became president. But I want you to know the prophecy is always being fulfilled. There is no need to stress and kick and cry about the processes of life. Just as with any year, there will be things that happen unexpectedly on the social forefront, and there may be things that will make you jump in surprise that it happened. Just be a little more on guard in crowds and the time of day you decide to go out, being extra careful and extra diligent and watchful in the evenings, and make sure that you are in good company. I also, in addition to what I've discussed in this video, later received a vision of possible manipulation via chemical warfare and nuclear warfare. And I saw a vision of something that looked like a neon colored green germ that looked like something that you would see under a microscope. So make sure that you are taking very good care with sanitary measures and watching what is in your food chemically. But even more so, you may hear of things on the news about chemicals being released in the air via bombs soon and very soon. Not in a total area, but in isolated pockets of areas and regions. Be careful of chemical warfare or bombs being set off that release chemicals in the air after the bombs have been set. I feel like the impact of possible bombing could be the more dangerous part would be the actual chemicals itself rather than just the bomb alone, which would cause more long-term damage. So be on guard against that. Also, hurricanes and tornadoes are going to be extremely intense this year. So don't try to gamble with that. If you live in those hurricane and tornado prone areas, it's going to be very, very strong. So that's all I have for you for now. Stay tuned for the Patreon Astral Theology video. It's not that long at all. We'll get deeper in the matter in some upcoming meetings. And also we have the subconscious cleanse and the fast this month in January as we prepare for the true new year, which is at the spring equinox. So thank you for your patience, and I hope to see y'all soon. Peace and bliss. Happy 2025.